Hey there, fight fans. Today in this video, Jon Jones breaks silence and has responded to the allegations from Stipe Miocic. In addition, Jones made it clear that his words about a possible retirement after fighting Miocic should not be taken literally. Also in this video, Dana White reveals UFC plans for Israel Adesanya. Israel wants to fight non-stop, constantly, and he is ready to take on anyone. Former UFC middleweight champ Alex Pereira announced his move to light heavyweight, but he announced that all the light heavyweights who were talking about him and wanted to fight him have now disappeared. Then at the end of this video, for many fans, we have some bad news. Former UFC lightweight champion Charles Oliveira is injured and will not be able to fight Benil Dariush. So, who will replace Oliveira? Who looks like, well, honestly, the lucky guy in this situation? Whose fate unexpectedly received a gift? Well, let's see. But before we kick off the video, I just want to ask you guys, please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate it, so thank you in advance. As you remember, many people began to say that the current UFC heavyweight champion, Jon Jones, just disappeared.
Jon Jones and poof, disappeared, man.
Poof! He's gone again.
Even Stipe Miocic was saying this. Miocic then accused Jones of trying to avoid a fight with him. But now, Jones has fired back, saying, "I lay low for a couple of weeks, and you began to convince yourself that I was afraid of you? Ha, you can tell yourself what you want, old man," Jones wrote on social media. Now, Jones previously stated that his fight with Miocic in November will headline the traditional UFC New York event, and the UFC president Dana White confirmed this information. In addition, Jones has made it clear that his words about a possible retirement after fighting Miocic should not be taken literally, saying, "Okay, my fault. I will continue to fight," he wrote to a fan and said he did not want to hear anything about his resignation. Now, the fight between Jones and Miocic was originally scheduled to headline UFC 290 in Las Vegas on July 8th. However, the UFC has decided to postpone the bout until the fall. A heavyweight title fight between Jones and Miocic will be the main event of the UFC's annual event held in November at New York City's iconic Madison Square Garden. Now, Jon Jones is on social media saying that the fight against Stipe could be the last in his fighting career. But then one fan on Jones' social media asked, "So are you going to fight in July?" To which Jones replied, "No, I think the UFC has other plans for us. Wouldn't it be great to have my last fight dominating the greatest heavyweight of all time in my home state at Madison Square Garden?"
Everything I do will be about Stipe Miocic. I believe that I'm going to not only win this fight against Stipe, but I'm going to finish Stipe Miocic.
Now, UFC President Dana White confirmed those plans at the ESPN 44 event, saying, "As far as I know, everything is fine with us, and I hope that we will announce his fight with Stipe very soon. We want to do it in New York," the head of the UFC said at a press conference. Dana White then also revealed the UFC's plans for Israel Adesanya, saying, having regained the UFC middleweight championship belt a week ago, Israel Adesanya could enter the octagon within the next 4 months. This was announced again at the same press conference after the UFC event on ESPN. Dana White said, "This guy has already cut off the phones for me and my guys. He keeps calling and asking, when is my next fight? I want to fight again, and that's what I like about Israel Adesanya. Israel wants to fight non-stop, constantly, and is ready to take on anyone. Now we are working on it, and I hope he will fight soon. Maybe before the end of summer, we will see him in the octagon. I don't know yet against whom, otherwise I would have announced it already." So who will be Adesanya's next opponent? Well, we're not really sure, but who would you like to see fight against Israel? Let us know down in the comments. And moving on, former UFC middleweight champ Alex Pereira has announced his move to the light heavyweight division. And he is not seeing that same lineup of people that were wanting to fight him like they did before. Saying, "So where are all the light heavyweights now who were talking about me when I was a middleweight?" he wrote on social media. After Pereira officially announced the change in weight category, he was then greeted by the reigning UFC light heavyweight champ Jamal Hill, who had expressed interest in fighting him. Dana White has revealed that Alex Pereira could get a light heavyweight title shot. Now, if you do recall in his last fight, he did lose by knockout to Adesanya and lost the title in the middleweight division. After that, Alex announced that he would be fighting in the light heavyweight division. To be among the contenders for the light heavyweight title, he needs to beat someone. He needs to move up to the light heavyweight division and beat a real top fighter. And now, we are working on it, Dana White stated. Now, as we said at the beginning, for many fans, we do have some horrible news. Former UFC lightweight champion Charles Oliveira has been injured, and he will not be fighting against Benil Dariush. How badly Oliveira is injured is not yet known, but he did warn the organization in advance so that they could find a replacement for the co-main event at UFC 288. And as you can see, the UFC has already found his replacement. The 8th ranked UFC lightweight Arman Tsarukyan is ready to replace Oliveira in the fight with Dariush. Now, as you know, in this situation, Tsarukyan looks like a real lucky man. Fate gave him some real gifts. Oliveira freed the way to the coveted title holder, so it remains only that he needs to defeat Dariush. Now, we can agree that in this whole situation, it is Tsarukyan who looks like the ideal candidate for replacement because almost the entire top division, well, they're all busy with other things. Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje have already scheduled a fight. Michael Chandler is still on the Ultimate Fighter and is only going to be fighting Conor McGregor. Rafael Fiziev will not be ready yet after a tough fight with Gaethje as he needs to rest, so therefore Arman looks like the ideal candidate for the replacement. He has been striving to get to the top of the division for a very long time, and a victory over Benil Dariush could send Tsarukyan to the top 5. In addition, he does not need any additional motivation. He wants to get even with Makhachev, so he will be doing everything he can to get that title.
Islam, he's on different level, he's wrestling good, his striking is good, and I know one guy who can beat him, it's me, and that's it.
So
Nobody understands what you say.
The main factor is that Arman held a full-fledged camp and will be approaching the fight with Dariush in complete readiness. So if you were to choose another fighter, his preparation may be insufficient. The UFC does not want to risk the main fight of a major event. So what do you think about it? Let us know down in the comments. That's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And remember, this is very important, so thank you in advance.